Oh, what is up, folks? I am happy to be live, but I am happier to be home. Um, Man, it was crazy week, crazy trip. Um, wow. All I gotta say is, yeah, I'm tired. I didn't get a whole lot of sleep. Um, but this was like a road trip I don't think I'll ever forget because the events of this week, well, kind of ran the gamut of emotions, actually. Um, there was the emotional moment of going and visiting my dad. There was the very surreal moments of being downtown in DC in the Capitol, being around that march, live streaming from that march. Um, it was it was something I don't think I'll ever forget. Being is there for the event in the middle of it. And hi, Christy. Hi, Mikhail Wolf. Angelus, it was great spending time with you too. I actually, real quick, I as I was coming home, um, I believe that was like later Thursday. I actually got to meet Angelus. I was hanging out with Angelus Draven over at his place. I stopped there on the way back home. Um, it was a little out of the way, but it was well worth it. Anytime I can meet friends, it's a great thing. So thank you for being such a gracious host, Angelus. And I told you we made it happen. We sat there and we had a beer together, and that was awesome. But getting back to the DC trip, you know, I hadn't even thought about it Sunday or Monday. I was just sitting there, and then I talked to Wes on the phone, and he was hearing how passionate he was and how much it meant to him. I got to thinking, I'm like, I'm 5 or 6 hours from DC. Um, why not? I'll go in Wes's stead and I'm gonna document this. You know, because I keep saying I want to be a journalist. I want to do journalist things. Well, what's more of a journalist thing than to go in the middle of a huge human event and cover it? So obviously, Wes lives out in California. He couldn't really catch a flight or anything out, and also at the time we didn't really think of it. It's funny how you think of things after the fact. Had I mentioned to Wes, like, hey, just fly into Cleveland and we'll drive there, that probably would have worked out better. But he was having issues getting a flight to DC, so I understand. Um, so again, I went in his stead. And hey, Parrot Head, hey Nick, great to see you, man. I don't know if you know Nick, but I went to DC. I was right there in the middle of it. Cold Blooded Critic, hail, my friend. Great to see you. Um, I want to say thank you, by the way, to you guys in the chat that were able to catch the live stream that I did from the March. That was awesome. That was awesome. Um, Fortunately, for some reason, you want to talk about Twitter acting crazy. Twitter would not let me upload the other footage I wanted to show this evening on this stream. I could upload the short clip, which is on my Twitter, the 10 or 11-second clip, but it wouldn't let me share like the 4-minute piece of video I did. So I'm gonna basically, since obviously I can't share it on the Twitters. I'll see if I can pull it up because I do have my phone connected to my computer, and I'm just gonna see if it'll let me pull it up from the connected phone app on my computer. But if not, I'll go ahead and describe it for you as best as possible. Only because, again, Twitter's being an asshole, as we know, and we'll talk about that here in a few minutes because I have thoughts on all of that, which it was hilarious. A couple hours ago, I was trying my ass off to trigger Twitter. So let me see if I can get this to work somehow. Connecting to your phone. Oh, great. Okay, come on, phone. Ugh. I hate technology. I really do. I'd give anything to go back to the 80s and the days of just bullshitting on a cordless, not worrying about a cell phone. Hell, I had a pager back then. Anybody remember beepers? And remember, you're dating yourself if you actually had a beeper. I did have a beeper. That was before cell phones were cool. Let's see here. Gallery. Come on, give me the gallery up. There we go. Videos. All right. Let me see. All right, let me see now if I can pull this up in StreamYard. So, thing about Angela Strabe and Soul Assassin. It's funny. I said this last night on Comics Division stream. I jumped on Comics' stream for a little bit from over at Angela's place. when I what's up, Poe? Good to see you, brother. Thanks, Coop. Get some rest. We'll see you. So first thing, I get to Angela's house really quick. It look like he lives in the middle of nowhere. Like, and he told me like on the phone, he's like, dude, I live in the middle of nowhere. So I pull up to his house, man. I'm like coming down this hill, and it's crazy. It looks like it's in the middle of like Sasquatch territory, right? And funny enough, I went over this long bridge crossing the Susquehanna River, which kind of sounds like something Sasquatchy anyway. But then gets into really like a lot of wooded area on both sides. And it's like being in the middle of Sasquatch territory. So then I get to Angela's place, and, first thing he says is like, wait a second, I have no pants on. Like, what? It's like, oh, yeah, just wait a minute. I have no pants on. Like, all right. So it's confirmed. He lives in Sasquatch territory and wears no pants. So that's Angela Straven, folks. But no, in all seriousness, he's good people. And I had a good time with him. I also met my boss, John F. Trent. Shout out to him from Bounding Into Comics. It was good times. So I enjoyed that. But yeah, I had a great time with Angelus, and I actually got him to drink beer because he actually does not drink beer. Seriously, I got him to drink a beer with me because we had always said, hey, we're gonna pop a cold one together, and we did. I brought beer with me. So we cracked open a couple cold ones, and we just we kicked back and watched people in the community stream, which is what this community is about: being friends, supporting one another. And it was awesome. So thanks again, Angelus, for taking the time out and allowing me graciously to kick it with you at your house, man. Appreciate that. It was great meeting you. And like I said, we'll eventually hang out again and kick it, probably when it's warmer out, when it's much warmer out. Because, man, it was colder than a witch's titty last night. But getting back to the DC stuff in here, I'm going to try to pull this up. So, all right. So here's the video, and sorry for having to show it like this. It kind of sucks. But let me see. I gotta play the audio. My bad. So give me a second.
Mm-hmm. You know what time it is. Well, damn, we're doing that for you.
They can hear it like on my phone. Because I keep using when I share the screen, I have to do the share your phone app thing. So just give me a second to pull it up one more time. Okay, here we go. Oh, wow. Does it not give you the option to share audio out of an app window? I guess it just shares it automatically. All right. Well, we'll see if it shares the audio. Hopefully it does. So, all right, here we go again. There's me sideways, by the way.
Right now. So, without further ado, check this out.
And yes, I smoke. You guys probably didn't know that. You do now. So like I said, sorry, I'm sharing it directly from my phone because Twitter wouldn't let me. But I want you guys to see the truth of this. It was peaceful. It was peaceful. I thought those guys on skateboards, at first were going to be Antifa fuckers, but they weren't. But as you can clearly see, and I know the video is smaller on the screen share, but as you can clearly see, it was 100% peaceful. So do not buy the bullshit that they are telling you. This is not a crowd that was militant. It was not a crowd that was by any means disruptive. The people just chanting things like Trump and stop the steal. And, at one point they said, fuck CNN, which was great. I think I might have got that on this video. I hope I did. Unfortunately, I couldn't fix me being sideways when I put the camera back on me.
All right, so it appears we got a large group of folks coming up chanting "Stop the Steal." So let's see what's going on.
Now, this was just a handful of what you could see. This is when I was just standing off to the side. So this was before, obviously I live streamed and actually marched. This was when I had first gotten there. They're chanting CNN sucks, which is an awesome chant.
Man, props to those people that ever chant CNN sucks. I love it.
Yeah, there's disabled people there. As those folks pass by, that one gentleman in the wheelchair had people of all races, colors, and creeds. And of course, mainstream media will point it out and say, oh my God, it's just a bunch of evil white people, which I guarantee you it was not.
With a backpack that's jamming. Nice. This is in
Makani. Hail.
history.
And hail to Helam, hail Tiki of Doom, hail Bear Nerd Fun.
How's it going, brother?
Look at Bear sending that message. Send the link. I got you. Hold on. All right. So that was definitive proof. All right. You already know mainstream media is lying to you. And you know how they painted that whole rally. Oh, it was the president riling up his base. People were going to destroy things. People are rioting. Really? Was it? No. To me, as far as you could see, and you guys know this from when I live stream, because you could see from one end of Constitution Avenue to the other, far as the eye could see, there were hundreds upon hundreds of Americans, thousands. I mean, it was just an ungodly amount of people. I could tell you right now, there were enough people at that rally, you could have comfortably fit 2 football stadiums. No lie. Think about that. Why would all those people turn out? They didn't want to wreck anything. What they wanted to do was just implore the government to do your damn job. See, one thing that's lost in this country, people in Congress, they forgot they work for us. We put them there. We got them their jobs. They're supposed to be the ones who take a hard look at the states that they represent, the communities they represent, the issues that we uniquely face in each of those states, each of those communities. Instead, it's been a cycle of self-serving, pompous ignorance. It's been wasteful spending. It's been, frankly, taking advantage of the taxpayers' good faith and their hard-earned money. And it's a damn shame. And those people, your fellow Americans, and to those of you that don't live in our country, your fellow global citizens, they were there to simply say, please, we implore you, do your job, find the truth. Our process has an issue. Please fix that issue. Look into it. That's what the people were there for. It wasn't some angry, burn everything down kind of riot. Because we know who does those riots. Wasn't that? No. It was very average, everyday, hardworking people that simply wanted to air grievances. And frankly, it was shameful how it was portrayed in the mainstream media. Hail, Philip. Great to see you, my friend. It was shameful how it was portrayed. But then, and you guys know, those of you that watched my live stream, I had been there for quite a while. Been there for about a little over 2 hours. And I think I started live streaming about an hour and a half in. So when I ended my live stream, and the first thing I did when I told you guys I was down, my phone was going to die and I was going to go take a lunch break anyhow. First thing I did was walk over. There was a gentleman, Capitol Police. Walked up to him and I said, "Sir, can you help me find the nearest metro station? Because I would like to head back toward my hotel and get some lunch." And he did. Very helpful guy. And we actually struck up a nice conversation. Found out that he had family just around the corner, down the road from me. Go figure, small world. But really nice guy. And he was a patriot himself. I mean, he had a smile on his face bigger in Texas. Guy was a wonderful man. I remember his name was Roy. And he helped me out, told me how to get right to the metro station. And I thanked him and headed on my way. Made it to the metro station, and just as I had boarded, probably about 2 or 3 minutes into the train leaving, was when we got the news. A lady that had been at the rally, she goes, "Oh my God, guys, look at your phone. the Capitol's been breached. And I started following all the breaking news as it was coming in. And at the time, I felt the way that a lot of you did. I almost was applauding it, and I still do in a way applaud it. And hey, hail Wookiee supremacy. Great to see you. But then I started to think, what is the bigger picture here? What is really happening here? And then I thought about little details. And you may have noticed this during the live stream. You know, I don't know how well my phone was picking up the sights and sounds around me, other than immediately around me. But off in the distance, you know, because I had, if you picture Constitution Avenue, I started jumping into the march about 7th, Northwest 7th Street. I got down about 4 blocks to Northwest 3rd. And again, everything was calm. It was peaceful, but you could hear very faintly every so often the sound of like fireworks going off, which specifically, like, let's say something about like size of a M80, something like that. And Stephen, you missed it. I just proved it wasn't a riot. But you could hear occasionally like an M80 going off. And, you know, after the Capitol had been breached, it kind of registered something in my mind. Well, okay, putting 2 and 2 together, who uses fireworks to disrupt? Well, Antifa. And funny, you couldn't really spot them in the crowd. But there had been multiple tweets that they were present. They were there in some capacity. There was at least 3 different people that had tweeted that they were running a sort of undercover counter op. They were dressed as patriots, Trump supporters, and that they were wearing hats like backwards in some cases to be able to distinguish one another, whatever. So I didn't know the exact credence of those reports, but when I heard the fireworks, I kind of raised an eyebrow, because we know from the very footage we saw of the riots earlier in the summer, some of the tactics of Antifa, some of the tactics of Black Lives Matter. So it led me to wonder just how many people among those Capitol breachers were quote unquote bad actors. How many? How many were Antifa? How many were just people that could have been people picked up to run in a counter op? Maybe not with Antifa, but with similar sympathies. You know, I don't think that your average patriotic people, at least from what I witnessed, you guys just saw the footage. The people marching certainly were not riled up and violent. You know, it's funny, The speech that the president gave right before the march started, he himself said, I know that you are about to take a peaceful march and march to the Capitol and use your voice. And he said, even at the beginning, it was peaceful. There was no call to violence. None whatsoever. Not at all in the speech. Matter of fact, it was one of the most eloquent speeches that the president has given in recent memory. Inspiring. And nowhere in the speech did he say that he encouraged people to be violent or tear it down or anything like that. He simply said, I know you're about to take a peaceful march and use your voice. And, voice your displeasure about, your vote not being counted. And there's so many moving parts to this whole thing. R. says, hey, Heretic, have you thought about reaching out to YouTuber Sarah Corher? She was at the March too. It would be interesting to have you both compare notes on events. R. If there's a way that you could put me in touch with that lady, or if you are a regular in her chat, please let her know of me. And if we could, if you could kind of help foster that, I would be more than happy to discuss it with her. Absolutely. Nick, you are so right about that. Then yeah, exactly, Tiki. But it's just funny the way that all this stuff, the way it all went down. I mean, it's almost too convenient. And then you see the other pieces of footage from other people of the Capitol Police allowing people to come in, actually moving the barricade, because they would just look like them bike rack type of barricades. It just parted them like the Red Sea, let people walk in. So I'm sorry, I don't think if you're trying to keep people out, you let them walk in. It's just kind of funny to me. And then we haven't even gotten to the fact that, in the aftermath of all this, some of the people that had breached the Capitol that they've caught pictures of have surprisingly been at other rallies, like BLM rallies. So, makes you wonder. Just what was what? Yeah, Stieg. Oh, my friend. Dark times over here. And yeah, I agree with you. They have overreacted. They've overreached. Hell, the Congress people basically just told you, if you watch their reactions, and I know many of you watched the stream with John Talks and Nina that same night, where they were watching the stuff on the PBS feed from the Senate chamber. All those Congress people, even the ones that were so gonna stand up and and they were going to, protest and vote to decertify. Not a one of them stood up for anything. They said, "Oh no, this is unacceptable. Can't do that. No, I withdraw. I withdraw. I withdraw." They one by one they laid down. What did the vice president do? Oh, not much either. He threw the president under the bus. Then he doubled down like he was supporting basically 25th Amendment, using the 25th Amendment on him. I mean, it was a Judas move. Soul Assassin, you are 100%. He pulled a Judas on him. I mean, what this should tell you is the establishment in Congress are hung up on power, and they don't give a crap about you, me, or the next person that's struggling. They care about their own careers, and they care about making money, and they care about personal power. That is it. They do not care about you. They do not care about homeless people lying in the street dying. They do not care about rampant addiction problems that this country has. They do not care about the fact that, everybody and their brother can jump over the border and come right in. Matter of fact, they encourage it in most cases. To see just people that gave it lip service not even 2 weeks ago, they were going to stand up for people and then turn out to be gutless cowards. It pissed me off, man. It pissed me off. And it goes right to the heart of what I said before. When we vote, it's more like having the illusion of choice, because that's what the hell it is. It's the illusion of choice, because what is it? A zero-sum game? We're never going to get ahead. The only person, you don't have to like Trump. You don't have to agree with everything he says. But what you do have to respect is he's an outsider. And he got in. And it pissed them off. They didn't like it. They were scared. And he basically exposed them for what they were, which was a bunch of selfish, cowardly, greedy bitches and bastards. That's exactly what he exposed. And he exposed that most of them are crooks, because they're involved in money laundering out the wazoo. And you know it. I know it. Hell, the damn world knows it. The only people with the wool pulled over their eyes are, the quote-unquote progressives, the SJW people. Oh, it's great. We're going to get this utopia. Get the fuck out of here. No, you are not. Because guess what? All this purge that's happening, where they think that they're killing the movement, quote unquote, and they got rid of the president, they think. So now they're coming after anyone who thinks differently than their narrative, and they're going to kill the America First movement, and then they're going to take out all the people that are in conflict with what they're talking about. Well, guess what? They're galvanizing them more. And it's funny because they think that somehow this is helping. It's not. If anything, it is absolutely showing you who these people are. and what they're going to do. And the sheep that keep claiming that they're getting some kind of utopia, they don't realize, we know, because we've been dealing with this crap all along, getting censored left and right, getting demonized because we support free thought, free speech. We've been dealing with this shit all along. But these people with the wool pulled over their eyes that think they're walking into the greatest thing since sliced bread, like there's going to be some golden age. Guess what? They're going to be the first ones thrown in the pit because they're not needed anymore. The people that wanted to stay in power stayed in power. People that wanted to get power got power. They don't need the useful idiots. So there's going to be, I fear, some very bloody times ahead. We are on the path to the Second American Revolution. Like it or not, we're headed there. There are some things that we can do. Like, number one, protect your families. Make sure that you have water, you have ammunition, you have important things, and most importantly, have a firearm, know how to use it. Have some way of protecting your home. Know how to live off the land, preferably. You know, if you're in a small community, run a co-op, put together co-ops with neighbors, friends. You know, I never thought we would get here into history. But then, you know, the things like, and hail to Wes for talking about the topics he talks about. You have to wonder how far back this goes. How long have we been stuck with the illusion of choice? How far back does it go? I wonder. You know, the only crime President Trump is guilty of is believing in the wrong people, because he surrounded himself with vipers. And unfortunately, it's the same mistake President Reagan made. And I'm fully convinced now, with who President Reagan had in his cabinet, which, by the way, were Republicans, supposedly, which they were globalist rhinos, we know now. A lot of them were. He made the same mistake, and Trump repeated it so many years later. He just trusted people. And you can't trust people that are establishment assholes when you're not, because they will stab you in the back. And what happened? In the end, he got stabbed in the back. In the short term, I can tell you, we are going to be under attack like you have never seen. You've already witnessed it, my friends. You've seen it tonight and all day long. All the Twitter followers being purged, all the different accounts either leaving Twitter or being outright nuked. And it's not just the president. Rush Limbaugh. Oh God, who else? There are a ton of them. Ton of them today. And it's just like I said. If you continue to, if you want to even ask a question, one wrong word. You can't. So you can't question. You can't voice your opinion. You can't do much of anything. Probably can't meme even. Think about that. Because if you do, and if it's even remotely something that goes against their platform, their narrative, bye-bye. They're going to shut you down, silence you, or so they think. And right now, this is a very, very scary time, and I sympathize with everybody that is going through it. I know a number of you probably here in the chat are kind of wondering what to do with your channels, what to do about your content. You know, there's going to be a lot of people right now that and I can understand. They're going to go into a shell. They're not going to say much of anything. They're only going to try to make the safe play, go with safe content. And I get that. I know, because so many people have worked hard for their channels, busted their ass for these channels. You don't want to lose it, so I get it. But it shouldn't have to be that way. You shouldn't have to live in fear. You shouldn't have to shut up just because you want to ask a question, just because you want to say, hey, why did you do this? Why did you make that decision? Why, what was this deal with this country? What is this? Those are all valid questions citizens of any nation should be able to ask. It's the least that your leadership can do is have engagement with the citizens. It's what they're there to do, is lead. It's a sad day. Yeah, Moira. Oh, in Moira, I don't know if you knew, I went to DC and I was there for all of this, but man, oh God, it was very surreal. I kind of wish you would have been on that road trip with me. Yeah. It's like I said, one wrong word. That's all it takes now. And we're going to have to fight like hell. For those of you that are going to continue to speak your mind and you're not afraid, well, that's awesome. But we are going to have to fight like hell, because I'll tell you what, we are going to be deplatformed probably more than once, possibly on Twitter, possibly on here, possibly on another platform. And we're going to have to go through a process for a while where we jump around and rotate around platforms, because that's just a way. There's no way around that. And hopefully we don't wind up in the middle of an armed conflict. But, well, Stig, they already do. They already do. You can't criticize government anymore. It is treason automatically. They said that. Yeah, that's a good point too. A lot of people didn't fight sooner because I don't know if they didn't take it serious, or some people just honestly thought that's not going to, that can't happen. Not in America. Well, it sure did. It sure did. And, like I said, it's scary, because I don't know where we go from here. I really don't. Yeah, the Patriot Act certainly doesn't help. Not right now, Moira. It's going to be used as it's going to be used. There's going to be some kind of justification made for an even stronger Patriot Act. You know it. So, yeah, it's pretty sad. But there's a whole lot of people that aren't going to put up with, the feds knocking on their door, kind of telling them you have to be quiet. Oh, Deej, I love the Animal House reference. And great to see you, my friend. Oh, yeah, they're pushing that narrative. They're pushing it right now. They're calling the people that breached the Capitol domestic terrorists. Domestic terrorists. Nothing was even burned. It wasn't anything burned. Somebody sat in Nancy Pelosi's desk. That's an affront. The gall of those politicians to stand in that chamber after all this happened and act like somebody broke into their personal home. I mean, I couldn't help but laugh my ass off at that. Like, seriously? Why weren't they upset over a woman being shot dead by police? But no, they're worried about people sitting in desks and furniture getting moved around. Are you kidding me? Papers being strewn about. That's more important than a woman's life. I mean, good God. That just tells you who these people are. They don't even value human life. It's a crying shame. But I guarantee you this. What I got out of that trip, what I got out of going on that trip, it was that I think I am 110% determined that I'm going to continue questioning. I'm going to continue saying what the hell I want to say. I'm going to continue talking about the topics I want to talk about. And if they come to shut me up, so be it. I'll go to another platform, set up shop, do the same thing. I am not going to shut up. They want to double and triple down. Well, guess what? We can do that too. So, yep. That's what I'm going to do. I mean, sure, I'm going to do my other stuff. I'm going to write for Mounting, and I'm going to do my other stuff, but I am certainly not going to back down. Now is not the time to back down, even if you feel outnumbered, even if you feel like they're coming for you. Because the most important thing is you don't want to lose your individuality. Don't give that up. If they're gonna come after us, and if we're gonna go out, we may as well go out and die free. So I'll tell you what, those of us that have had family members that fought in World War II or Korea or Vietnam or, Desert Shield, Desert Storm, doesn't matter. The things they fought for, the real things they fought for, are the things that we still have to hold dear and hold up to. And we can't let these bullies and corrupt assholes turn us away from that. And I know that people around the world, in their heart of hearts, they all want freedom. Whether they live in a communist country, a socialist country, democratic country, it doesn't matter. They all want freedom. Freedom is a good thing. And it's something that we can never lose sight of. And if there's one thing I can say, don't lose sight of that. Fight for it. It is precious and it is worth it. Hail LGG Pixels. Yep. I am proud to call you folks friends because the majority of you are patriotic no matter where you live. You stand up for what's right. You treat people with respect. You treat one another the way that you should be treated. Even though at times, sure, we don't agree on certain TV shows and movies. But this is so much more important than TV shows and movies. This is a fight against tyranny. And I think that at the end of the day, that certainly beats out pop culture. So remember, have each other's backs, and we'll see this through. We will get through this. And we will let them know, we're not going quietly. And you can't take us all out. Promise you that. Yeah. Oh, God. So, Steve brought up a good point because I just looked in my inbox. He sent me the thing, and this is indeed, if you look it up, as Steve said, it is on Biden's platform. They intend to legalize HIV exposure. Now, the reason that those laws were put in place was because HIV was a huge risk. It's obviously something that can kill you. And, it's not like the coup. HIV is proven. It's researched. It can kill you. So, there was a time when people actually weaponized sex that were HIV infected, went and infected other people just because they were sick, or they just absolutely wanted to victimize someone or kill someone. And people weaponize that, HIV victims, just by not telling their partner they were infected. And laws were made against that. And now this administration wants to repeal those laws. That's the epitome of clown world to me. How do you... Oh my God. You can't give somebody manslaughter anymore for killing their partner with HIV. I mean, it's ridiculous. We really are living in peak clown world right now. That's crazy. But when you see big tech, and we can get into big tech for a moment here. That there's something wrong when they can silence a sitting president of the most influential country in the world. That's when you know you've given big tech too much power, or given them too much of a perception of their own importance and power. And we can do something about that, like I said, by finding alternative platforms, alternative ways to communicate. If you have a good friend in this community, obviously, preferably in the same country, I urge you, and I know Wes urged this earlier, but I'm going to piggyback up what Wes said. Exchange phone numbers, stay in touch, check on each other. If we look after one another, watch each other's backs, it makes it so much harder for them. So look out and be your brother and sister's keeper. And keep fighting. Because right now, it's paramount that we do that, all of us. Oh, man. I appreciate the kind words, Redshirt. Thank you. Moira, yeah. Start with the 5G towers. You want an EMP shit? Start with the 5G, because that's not helping. It's funny how they promote that stuff. They love their 5G. Why is that? I was telling a friend of mine that now that they can use and milk this incident for all that it's worth, demonize Trump supporters and conservatives and moderates, libertarians, now that they can just use this one event, how much you want to bet, and I'm just thinking out loud here, but how much you want to bet that gradually by the next 6 months, the coup will magically be gone, or it'll be so diminished it's within quote unquote acceptable parameters. But how much you want to bet? Because they don't need it anymore. Maybe the governors will take issue with that, because some of the state governors will still be wanting to hang on to power and all the little extra perks they have right now. But federal government doesn't need that anymore, because this event gives them justification where they can do even more restrictive shit and don't have to worry about the coup. Oh yeah, Redshirt, there are. Don't even get me started about the guy here. He just, we're continuing on that curfew, and yeah, haven't even, he hasn't even taken that curfew off or anything. So, yeah, I sent him a link. I don't know if he's coming or not. But yeah, it's right now, it's paramount that we fight. Back up your shit. Make sure that, if you don't have a Parler, think about getting a Parler, Gab, whatever, or both. Back yourself up as much as possible. if you want, those of you that are streamers, I would seriously put some thought into D Live. I'm putting a lot of thought into D Live. I still have my Twitch account, but shit, the minute I go live on Twitch and do one of these streams, they'll kick me off Twitch so quick, my head will spin anyway, especially now. that reindeer lady might attack me. Hey, Nick McCabe, thank you, buddy. I'll see you. Say hi to your brother, man. I hope he's doing well too. You guys take care of one another, man. Be safe. Be well. Oh yeah, Moira. Don't think that your files are off limit with Google. Shit, they're like the big brother watching. Of course. Of course. So that's why I said back yourself up on other platforms. D Live for streaming, BitChute for videos, things of that nature. I mean, all we can do is what we can do right now, guys. But the main thing you can do is use your voice, get the word out, try to wake people up. But anyhow, let's see. I think Bear might have dozed off in his chair. Something like that. Wondering what happened to old Bear. Send him a link. Well, I'm probably going to go for another 8-9 minutes, and I'm probably going to call it a night myself because honestly, for the duration of that trip, the whole time I was there, I didn't get a whole lot of sleep. So as we wind down, I can kind of tell you guys the story. So the first night when I got there, one of my buddies had gone with me, and we split the driving on the way. We finally got to the hotel. We had already both had rooms booked. He had a room booked for himself. I had a room booked for myself. And the room was great that I was in. And then later on, that few hours later, because we had walked around and checked shit out around the general area of the hotel. We get back and I was, yeah, man, take care, Pixels. Shout out to LDG Pixels, man. He's a good dude, very helpful. He's working on his own platform, and he's also very good with IT, computer issues, things like that. Check out LDG Pixels' channel, sub to him. He can go and he can help you if you need tech support on the fly. And if you have any computer issues, man, reach out to him because Pixels is a great guy, and he'll take the time out to help. He actually really loves to help people, and he takes pride in helping people with computer issues. So you do God's work, buddy. Hail. All right, so Bear's here finally.
Yo,
What's going on?
had to go get smokes for the wife.
That's where you went. Jeez.
Yeah, well, I was getting dressed for a reason. I was getting dressed in the chat just for a funny,
But to finish the story,
it's me not being naked.
Nice. To finish the story, hail Jedi Bill.
Yeah.
Great to see you.
And yes, I am driving.
Nice. So yeah, the first night when we get back to the hotel, I wound up, speaking of smokes, I walk out on the balcony to have a smoke. And I wind up locked out of my room. So I'm like,
Holy
oh,
shit.
So I was like, oh shit, what do I do? So I go to the front desk. I ask them for another key. I come back and that key doesn't work. So I had to get another key. And turns out that one didn't work. And the lock on the door ended up borked because this is one of those electronic locks, guys. So what happens is, like, you slide in the key. It looks almost like a swipe card. And the lock is supposed to turn green and trigger so it unlocks the door. Well, the lock just started flashing green to red, green to red, green to red. It went wonky. So I couldn't get back in my room. They exhausted their supply of spare keys that they had. The first night I ended up sleeping in my car. So, and hey, Omar, it's great to see you, my friend. So the next morning, which was Wednesday, day of the rally. So I woke up about 7:30, 8 o'clock. I go in the morning and I go over to the front desk and I told them, I was like, man, the room was great, but I didn't get a chance to use it much because I had to sleep in my vehicle.
That sucks.
So, I told them, I was like, I'd like to book a room for another night, but you guys got to do me a solid on the price because that's just not right. So
they should have put you in another room.
So, well, they still gave it to me at a super discount rate. I got the room the second night for like $50. I only paid $60 the first night. So that was cool. Okay. So I was booked for the next day. So I didn't have to worry about going to the rally and rushing around to come back and check out. I could just come back and crash. So then, after I get back and extend the room, my buddy texts me. He's like, hey, stop by my room. I was like, all right. Stop by his room, and he's like, oh, man, I got to go, man. I'm like, why are you leaving? It's like, we split driving all the way up here. Why you piecing out?
You've probably seen the video.
He said
of police threatening people to arrest them because they were smoking cigarettes outside.
Well, no, it wasn't that. My buddy.
I watched a video.
Yeah,
Millie put a video out there.
Yeah, but this was Wednesday morning, dude.
This
was before the rally.
Holy shit! Why was he wanting to leave?
So my buddy said, he's like, I just don't know, man. He's like, I'm just not feeling this dude. And mind you, my friend isn't really a political guy, and if he was, he's more on the Democrat side of things, but he's not really like a progressive or anything. He's more of an old school Kennedy Democrat type of person.
I was just going to say.
But he's just not a political person. He's just like, I just don't know about this, man. He's like,
apparently he was feeling some vibes, man.
He's like, I just don't, I'm just not feeling it. I'm like, all right, so what are you going to do? He's like, I'm just going to metro over to Dulles and take a flight back. I was like, all right. But thankfully, at least my buddy was cool. He left me his Easy Pass. So I at least didn't have to fuck with tolls on the way home, which was good. But so he peaced out. So then I was there by myself. So all the shit that you guys saw when I live streamed at the rally, I was rolling solo.
Holy shit.
So yeah, after that, finally, after I narrowly missed the whole breach part of the afternoon. Obviously, they put the lockdown into effect like right after that, so there was no way I was going to be able to go back and get like any footage or anything. Because if he didn't
Hey,
work,
Drew,
yeah,
don't you find it funny that the lockdown was on the 6th day and it was from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m.?
yeah, isn't it?
Those three numbers, don't you find that
Yep,
a little funny?
interesting, man. Yeah,
I
and
found it kind of funny.
we were talking about it earlier, Bear. A lot of the stuff about this whole event looks weird, and there's no way around that. You can't tell me that a lot of the circumstances of this event look engineered. So that is
Are you familiar with the World Trade Organization protest in Seattle?
yes.
Well, I lived in Olympia at the time, and I had friends that were up at that protest. And you want to know where those tactics from the antiphorific thingamajiggy-wiggy, and well, they learned it.
Well,
at,
you know where they come from.
they were what you call it, sort of like a Sankirtan team, you know.
dude.
That Sankirtan teams, that goes back to the Krishnas when they had a crime organization. And
Well, the thing is they went and they got a lot of those tactics straight out of the Saul Alinsky book, man.
yeah,
It's communist tactics.
well, a lot of what these people at the W2 order would do is they go there dressed in all black, and they would start damaging stuff and start causing problems. And all the people that were peacefully protesting were telling them to leave. Well, guess what, man? Those people, they were hired by somebody, you know what I'm saying? Sent in. And, ain't nothing changed, ain't nothing different. It's the same old, same old. They used to do the same fucking thing in Grateful Dead parking lots. Um, there'd be people in there that were purposely sent in there to agitate the cops and get the cops pissed.
Oh yeah, they're agitators. Yes, professional.
And it's not really new. It's been happening for a long time.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I knew that. I just there's a lot of shit that doesn't add up about it. But to finish my story about the whole stay, so finally I narrowly missed a breach, and you guys heard that we're watching Wes's stream in the aftermath when I called in and kind of gave a blow by blow report. So the train finally got up. I actually got up a couple stops before my hotel. I went to this really like swanky mall in this area of Virginia called Tyson's Corner. It's like the richest area of Virginia. So I'm walking around this mall and I'm like, I walk in and there's like shit like Nordstrom's and stuff like that. And I'm like,
holy shit.
I'm like, Jesus Christ, I felt like I was a peasant in that place. I'm like, God, man, I just know there's going to be like some broad that walks by that looks at me like, what is this peasant doing here? That's what I thought. But so I was walking around for a while in there, and then, I finally, after I did get something to eat after I got out of the mall. Finally, there was a restaurant like as you walked outside. It was like right there, and they had a nice steak special. So I was like, okay, well, I'll grab a steak. Yeah, good night, Makini. Thank you so much for coming by. Shout out to Makini90. Great artist, great mod on many of the channels here in the community. Make sure you check out his content. Check out Makini's drawing streams. They are second to none because he is one of the best talents artistically that I have ever seen, and it is a privilege to know him. So Makini, you take care of yourself. Get some sleep, buddy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I get back to the hotel, and finally, I was able to like crash a little bit, sleep. Although it took me a while, I ended up on Bounding's live stream for a while, and then I was on John Talks before I jumped on Bounding. So I did like 2 streams in a row before I went to bed. But then the next day, which was Thursday, I woke up, and that's where I checked out finally the hotel, and I made my way to took the metro over to Arlington, and you guys probably saw on my Twitter that it was really emotional. It was the first time I've been to my dad's grave since we put him in the ground. That was 2013. So it's been 8 years, and I could tell you I felt a lot of different things, but I know that my mom was relieved because she was really glad that I was going to visit Dad's grave, and it was something that we had both wanted, and also at the same time, I miss him so much, and it was so hard being there again, but also peaceful at the same time. And I did a nice video describing it. It's on my Twitter. Nice little like log video as I was standing there. I did a log video about it, so it's on my Twitter. I tweeted it out a little earlier, but yeah, that was something I had to do. So then after I left Arlington, I met up with my boss John Trent, and we grabbed a bite to eat, and then I was pretty much on my way, and I hit the road, and next thing you know, I'm in Sasquatch country at Angela Straven's house. So it was a fun Thursday. Yeah, take care, Red Shirt. Appreciate you.
Yeah.
Keep fighting the good fight, my friend. Always love seeing you. Thank you for the support. But the cool thing is after I hung out with Angelus, I think I drove a couple hours early, like Friday morning, because it was, I think by the time I left Angelus's place, it was about 2 in the morning, something like that, 1:30. And I drove about an hour and a half, and I petered out, pulled into a rest stop, and I just crashed. I woke up, yesterday morning now, Friday morning at like something like 11, and I drove for a while, then hit another rest stop, passed out again for a while, and yeah, eventually I made it home about 3 o'clock this afternoon because I was just like making all these stops in between, but I finally made it home. And I did accomplish my goal, guys. On the way home, I swore to myself one thing I was going to do was eat at a Waffle House. So I did get my Waffle House. Ironically enough, it ended up being in Ohio, and an hour or so away from where I live, but it still made it to a Waffle House. So, props to that. At least I got my Waffle House. So that was pretty much the journey of DC, but it's a trip I won't forget. I won't soon forget. And I don't think I'll soon forget the events of DC. So, I appreciate you guys sharing that journey with me.
Yeah, speaking of journeys, I just had a Washington State's finest just drive by as I'm doing 5 over.
Well, you're only doing 5 over. They ain't gonna stop you for 5
Oh, he
over.
didn't care.
Yeah.
They don't care about 5 over. It's when you get into 10 over when they
Yeah.
start caring.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
he pulled over right there in that little speed trap right there. And all these idiots next to me, all doing going over 65. Wow, he's up ahead. And I'm like, don't you guys know he's setting up?
Yeah, that usually means they are setting up.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do owe a lot of people a lot of thanks for helping make this trip happen. Thank you guys, those of you that just reached out, checked up on me the whole time, and those of you that sent a little bit of a scratch my way to keep stocked up in food and with gas and things like that. I needed every red cent, but I so appreciate it. So very grateful. Thank you much. And you guys are indeed really good friends. So appreciate everyone. So thank you much. Well, Bear, you got any final thoughts? Because it's going on 20 minutes to 5 here.
Holy shit.
I'm actually going to go crash shortly. So if you got any final thoughts.
Well, my thoughts are basically, there's a few different golden rules. Number 1 golden rule: don't sleep with another man's wife. Number 2 golden rule is you don't go on property that you're not invited to go on to. That's number 2.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the 2 most important rules to follow. If you follow those rules in life, I'm pretty sure you'll be okay.
Except those assholes were invited on.
Well, yeah. Some invitations should be declined. Is the message basically?
If you notice how the gates parted like the Red Sea mysteriously.
Yeah. So those kind of invitations, you got to ignore that. Yeah. Peaceful protesting is the way it should be, and we knew that there was going to be some agitators. It was a given. They even said they were. But yeah, if basically if you don't go on the property that you shouldn't be on, you're all golden.
Yep.
Because you trespass on federal property, that's a federal crime.
Oh, it is, but Shellback says the Capitol really is our property, technically.
True. That this is true.
Hey, Random Brad, what's going on?
Hey.
Good to see you, brother. Yeah, it's like I said before. We hired these people to do a job. We hired them with our vote, and they are supposed to be representing us. And right now, it's supposed to be no taxation without representation. Well, there's no representation, but there is taxation. So what does that say?
Well, do you know anything about Masons?
I do. Yeah.
Well, the one thing that I understand about Masons is when they're a Mason, they serve that master, whatever that master is, and you can't serve 2 masters. So when you're a Mason, I find it hard for people that are Christians and being Masons because you can't serve 2 masters. And the same thing could be said about walking the red road. You can't serve 2 masters.
Oh my God.
And I'm going somewhere with this. And when you have only 9 people out of the whole Congress and Senate that are not Masons, there you go.
So, oh my God, get this, you guys. I need to share this because this is just the most stupidity-filled response I have seen on a tweet in a while. So, so look at this, you guys. This is great.
Hold on. I just pulled in the parking spot. All right, let's see here.
So I responded to one of Tim Pool's tweets earlier today, or earlier this evening, and he said,
Right.
you know, he said a major political party and massive multinational corporations are removing their political opposition. It is a cultural coup. And I said the culture war has been raging for a while, Tim. They've just now decided to start their scorched earth policy. Free-thinking people will not take this lying down, though. So this person responds to me. You know, apparently I encouraged a lot of idiotic responses because there's more than this one. But this one takes the cake, you guys. This person, I'm guessing it must be like some kind of woman. Yeah, it's a woman. But she's obviously a liberal. Free-thinking people can build their own social media platform. Good luck.
Debbie Downer Doubter.
Yeah. And there was a lovely trans person, trans woman. We don't want to misgender her because, you know, it's not ma'am, it's man. And this trans woman, she says, yeah, can you believe they don't even let ISIS have accounts on here either? Where's the free speech? What an idiot. Boy, you know, the mental midgets that come out in response of some of our tweets on this platform boggle the mind.
Wow. Amazing.
It's man.
Bunch of craziness in the world, man. But you know, we kind of seen this coming, and I don't know if you know this, man, but I've been awake for a long time. I've been awake since I was at least 17.
Oh, I know you have.
Actually, probably younger than that.
I know you have.
Got 16 going on 17. My friends were hanging out with this old school deadhead, and his name was Bob. He was known as the Mad Hatter. He was good people, and he taught us. He was a little bit like a guru. He taught us a lot of things, and he taught us that everything to do with what's going on government-wise, it's a police state. And he said, in fact, a police state. Everything is a police state. There is really no freedom whatsoever. It's all fiction. And that's what he said. And this came from a hippie, deadhead, following the Grateful Dead. And there was a time when most people that follow the Grateful Dead, they were awake. They knew what government was.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, we are headed to a peak police state situation right now because that's what it's going to turn into. You know, we're on a list, you guys. Those of you that aren't aren't liberals, you know, like I said earlier, you may be libertarian, you may be moderate, you may be conservative, whatever. Now, you may not have a political designation, and that's fine too. But you might be a free thinker, and if you're a free thinker, period, you are on the list somewhere. So just be aware. And like I said, all you can do is watch each other's backs collectively, and don't give in. Use your voice. All right. Well, as I said, folks, it is about it is now about 10 minutes to 5. I am gonna go and actually crash the hell out because I still need to catch up on some sleep. You can best damn well believe I'm gonna be sleeping most of today. So yeah,
Hell of a drive, eh?
it was. So
Did you get back this morning?
no, I got back to this afternoon.
Oh,
Yeah. So yeah. So I am for now. I am tapped out. I probably won't do any streaming tomorrow, but I'll probably come on Sunday. Maybe do something then. I will be watching the Browns game like Sunday night. So if I do anything, it'll be late in the night. But I will see you guys then. I'm just glad I got to have this stream and describe my experiences in DC and share that footage and everything else. And I appreciate you guys all coming and hanging out for it. So thank you very much. And take care of yourselves and each other. Fight the good fight and much love. Have a good night.